Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Product Intelligence Sync on the 28th of February, 2023. Before we dive into the topics today, I just want to quickly acknowledge that we are not doing the check-in today inside the video or in the sync call. We have the check-in for everyone to read at the bottom of the agenda. So that's something I would urge everyone to read afterwards. We had this in the retro, and we can discuss it afterwards or later as one of the points for today's sync, how we're gonna work with the check-in in the future. But to save some time, we're not gonna do it in the synchronous fashion today. All right, I have all the topics today. So I'm just going to start. I have a few just updates so that I want to make sure that everyone actually knows about those, even though they've mostly already been shared inside Slack and some other channels. It still might be interesting to everyone. So the first big thing is that the automated service ping is now officially running after all the remaining missing metrics have been fixed. So I just want to highlight this again. It's a huge step. And the additional update is that we're gonna, at least for now, we're gonna keep the manual process running for the remainder of the milestone. So in theory, we don't need it anymore, but we still want to give Miles and others a chance to kind of make sure that there's no problems, that everything's running according to plan, and that we don't have any new upcoming issues. We might depends on Miles and Israel and others. We might be informed about the fact that we can turn it off earlier, but that's still up in the air. So for now, I think we can just keep it running for the milestone, but that should then definitely be enough. Do we have any questions regarding this? Okay. Then update also on the version app. Already beginning of last week, this kind of moved, the project moved and the deployment method moved. So the setup is not complete yet, but the export is running again. And I think Radovan is actually working on picking up the new service pings. We still have to make sure that all the data is correctly transferred, so that there's still some things to do, but in general, it's already running again, which is a really, really huge success, because this also enables us to not have to export any more new like version app versions for Chihu, and kind of is one more manual process that we can get rid of, because now the version app is also open source. I think also no questions here. Cool. Then another thing that most of you probably have already seen. Mikolai, before his vacation, put up an MR for unified product intelligence framework for sending out the events. He also put up a video about this to explain a bit his thought process. I would urge everyone to check out the MR and give their opinion already now. It's, I think, already in a state where we can discuss about things and kind of overall shape the direction of the proposal, and then the next issues that will drop out of it. Especially because I think that's whatever the outcome here is, will probably shape our events for quite a bit, and how we handle the different parts of our stack, Snowplow, Redis HLL, and so on. So I think now is the time to kind of discuss and shape this together, and then later on we can start building. Cool. If you don't have any questions here, then the last thing is actually the check-in process, which we didn't do in the sync version today. So in the retro issue, I think I asked for a bit of feedback, and I'm really grateful for everyone who provided feedback around kind of, okay, is the check-in process helpful in general? Is the structure with the victories, priorities, impediments helpful? Then also, is it helpful to have this in a sync version? And the general feedback so far was that the structure itself is helpful, the victories, impediments, priorities, but the sync version takes up a lot of time. Because I mean, today we're also quite a bunch of people, so it's like nearly 10 minutes of the sync that we oftentimes spend just doing the check-in, which doesn't leave us that much time afterwards. So the question would be, like, how do we do this in the future? Is there still a desire to go back to the sync version? Should we create individual videos, which would be a bit more effort for everyone, I think? Or do we just do it in a written version? And if we do it in a written version, where does that written version live? Because if we don't do it inside the sync meeting now, this also opens up the possibility for us to, I don't know, post the updates in Slack, for example, and using a bot there instead of doing that in the agenda here to even increase the visibility more. Yeah, I'm happy about any feedback here.
Yeah, I'll just say that I'm still writing my comment, but I got value from the sync updates just because it's a meeting that's on my calendar. I'm not on the team, so it helps that I didn't have to chase down some issue somewhere. I could just attend the meeting and see the update. However, if the team is in favor of not spending the sync time, if we could just keep doing the, like in the document, the check-in with whatever the check-in would be, that's fine for me as well. It's just better for me if I don't have to chase down like issue links, like different issue every week or whatever, something like that.
Okay.
All right, I'm off mute. I'll comment. I'm not in favor of the recorded videos. We've tried this on other teams in the past, and it always takes a lot of time to actually make the video, upload to YouTube, make sure you did it correctly, and then people won't actually watch them. So it's a lot of work for dubious sort of value at that point. So not in favor of the recorded videos.
Yeah, I also feel like they will take a lot of time both to record and then to watch. So
I completely agree, actually, with that. Ankit? Ankit, you're muted, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. So I think what we can do is like maybe create a geek board and create a separate channel for stand-up updates and post there every week or so. So that we used to do in my previous team. So if we can do the same, it worked pretty well.
I think the question is whether we want to keep a record of all our check-ins, right? If you write it in a doc versus if we're fine if the check-ins will disappear in Slack. Because I think that the process would be similar. So I would be fine with either writing it in a doc or in a Slack. It's just if we want to give maybe the opportunity for others to comment, or I don't know, on what we write. Like I think it would be easier in a Google Doc, and if something relates to some issues that we discuss in the meeting.
I personally wouldn't see a problem with the vanishing nature of Slack, because I mean, my assumption right now is that this update mostly gives value within the week and maybe like 1 week after, but I'm having a hard time imagining, I don't know, a use case where you would dig through the status updates for like a month, or I think Slack keeps 3 months or something. So I don't know, where you would like want to get an update someone gave more than 3 months ago. That seems a bit long for me. Do we have anyone who disagrees with, for example, trying it out in the form of a Geekbot or some kind of stand-up bot, posting it in Slack version?
I mean, it sounds good. The thing that I am wondering about is that the way it worked initially was that we had this bot post on our channel to ask us for updates. I think the main problem was that later we just stopped being so engaged in responding to it. So I am just afraid that it's gonna happen again. But I mean, logically, it sounds good.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, the main difference would be that we we have a clearer structure now of what to post. I think that previously it was mostly just a given async update, which was, I think, very broad in a sense. And then I think partially it's just holding ourselves accountable, or if you use Geekbot or something, something holding us accountable that we actually do it. The one thing I would be afraid is that it kind of nobody reads it anymore, but that's something we can also check in later on, because for me the main advantage with the sync version was that everyone was kind of forced also to watch it, or to take the few minutes that it took to go through it, which is the main value, I think, that you then might stumble upon some context that you were otherwise missing.
Well, I think it's definitely worth a try.
Okay, any other opinions? All right. If not, I can document this afterwards, but then we can, I will try to set something up and document this also in the retro issue, so that it's kind of documented all over the place that this is our decision. And then we can, I think, probably in like the next milestone or somewhere, we should still revisit if it's providing us value, or if we stop posting in it, or if nobody reads it, and so on. Because that's the main thing, I think, that we need to figure out. Okay, how can we keep the value that this is already providing? Because that was something that most people also agreed with in the retro, that it generally provides value, and I think we definitely don't want to miss this, and especially also kind of make sure that other teams, so for example Miles or Radovan or others, can check in there as well, so that it's not only us being able to read this. Awesome. If we don't have any other spontaneous topics, we can actually close it here. All right, then everyone have a nice rest of the week and enjoy your day. See ya.
See everyone.